Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. I am happy to welcome you all for online learning. Class 12, subject Biozoology, Chapter 2, Human Reproduction. Today we are going to discuss about parturition and lactation. First we are going to see about the parturition. Parturition is nothing but completion of pregnancy. Pregnancy takes place for about 280 days. So parturition is nothing but completion of pregnancy and giving birth to baby. This series of events that expels the infants from the uterus is collectively called as labor. The series of events expels the infants from the mother's womb is said to be labor. Throughout the pregnancy, the uterus undergoes periodic changes, periodic episodes of weak and strong contraction takes place. So from the first week of gestation till the last week, they have the periodic change of contractions. Strong and weak contraction takes place in the uterus. Okay, these contractions are called as Braxton-Hicks contraction. The Braxton-Hicks contraction is nothing but false contraction. Only at the time of delivery they have the contraction that is called true contraction of uterus. Before that, the contraction starts from the 6th month itself, that have it is not a true contraction. So they have sometimes weak and sometimes strong contraction of uterus takes place. This contraction of uterus is said to be Braxton-Hicks contractions, leads to false labor. Clear? As the pregnancy progresses, there is an increased level of estrogen hormone. This estrogen hormone concentration is increased, promotes this estrogen hormone promotes the uterine contractions. This hormone is essential for the promotion of uterine contraction. This hormone stimulates the uterine contraction. Okay, so this uterine contracts facilitates the fetus, facilitate molding of the fetus. Molding is nothing but a layer which is formed over the head of the fetus. So due to this uterine, that is uterus contraction, and this uterine contraction facilitates the molding of fetus. Molding is nothing but a small out layer formed on the top of the fetus. It will extends up to 1 to 3 days after delivery. Later on it will disappear. Okay, so molding of fetus and downwards movement of the fetus. So due to the contraction of uterus, it facilitates the molding of fetus and also takes place the downward movement of the fetus. Clear? Then the descent of the fetus. The fetus comes down, so it descends of the fetus causes the dilation of cervix. There may have a chance of dilation of cervix of the uterus and also the vaginal canal, resulting in the neurohormonal reflex. So due to the contraction of uterus, the fetus comes down. That movement is called downward movement of fetus. So due to this, there may have a chance of dilation of the cervix as well as the vaginal canal, resulting in the neurohormonal reflex called fetal ejection reflex. So it is a 2 mark question. What is fetal ejection reflex? This fetal ejection reflex is also called as Parturition reflex. Clear? This reflex initiates due to the dilation of cervix. Once the dilation of cervix takes place, as well as the vaginal canal takes place, the fetus comes down. The movement is called downward movement. So this forms the secretion of oxytocin. Oxytocin is also one of the hormone which is synthesized by neurohypophysis. That means posterior pituitary. Pituitary gland is of two. One is anterior pituitary and another one is called posterior pituitary. So this oxytocin hormone is synthesized by posterior pituitary, that is called a neurohypophysis. This initiates the secretion of oxytocin, which in turn brings about the powerful contraction of uterus. Already estrogen plays a vital role in the contraction of uterus. Due to the contraction of uterus, so there will be a dilation of cervix and vaginal canal takes place. During that time, the oxytocin hormone also synthesized by neurohypophysis. This oxytocin in turn brings about the powerful contraction of uterus muscle. Okay, so due to this particular hormone, this hormone plays a vital role in the contraction, powerful contraction of the uterine muscles. So this contraction leads to expulsion of baby through the birth canal. So due to strong contraction, powerful contraction, the expulsion means come out of the baby through the birth canal. This sequence of events is called parturition or childbirth. Okay, once again I am repeating, the powerful contraction of uterus leads to the expulsion is nothing but come out. Okay, expulsion of baby through the birth canal. This sequence of events is called parturition or childbirth. And then relaxin is also one of the hormone. The relaxin is a hormone secreted by placenta. Children, you know very well, placenta is the temporary endocrine gland. Okay, so this placenta connects the fetus through the uterine wall through umbilical cord. Okay, so once again I am repeating, placenta is nothing but temporary endocrine gland. This placenta connects the fetus to the uterine wall through the umbilical cord. Okay, so the relaxin hormone is secreted by placenta and also found in the corpus luteum. So relaxin also plays a vital role in the relaxation of dilation of cervix and the birth canal. Okay. So this relaxin hormone is secreted by placenta as well as the corpus luteum. What is corpus luteum? The empty of Graafian follicles. The mature Graafian follicles release the secondary oocyte or ovum. Once the Graafian follicles release the secondary ovum, now the Graafian follicles is empty. The empty Graafian follicle forms the structure called corpus luteum. Corpus luteum also secretes the hormone called relaxin. This hormone relaxin promotes the parturition by relaxing the pelvic joints. So by the action of the relaxin, by the action of hormone relaxin, the hormone particularly relax the pelvic joint of the female, and also by the dilation of cervix with continued powerful contractions. Then the amnion is nothing but extra embryonic tissue. So the amnion ruptures. Ruptures means what? Ruptures means disappears. The amnion ruptures and the amniotic fluid flows out through the vagina followed by the fetus. Once the fetus comes out from the mother's womb, followed by the amniotic fluid. This amniotic fluid also comes out, flows through the vagina. The next one, the placenta along with the remains of the umbilical cord called after birth is also expelled out after delivery. So once the baby comes out from the mother's womb, the placenta and also the remains of the umbilical cord comes out from the mother's womb. Clear? The next one is lactation. Lactation is the production of milk. In the name itself you can easily understand. Lactation, lactose means milk. Clear? So lactation is the production of milk by the mammary gland. Mammary gland only secretes milk. So the mammary gland shows changes during every menstrual cycle during the pregnancy and lactation. They have the chance, so many changes takes place during the pregnancy as well as in the lactation. Increased level of hormones such as estrogen, progesterone and human placental lactogen. In short, it is called as HPL, human placental lactogen, towards the end of the pregnancy stimulate the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a structure which is present near the brain, below the brain. So this due to increased level of these hormones. What are the hormones? Estrogen, progesterone and human placental lactogen towards the end of the pregnancy stimulate the hypothalamus towards prolactin releasing factor. So this hypothalamus stimulate the prolactin releasing factor. Okay. Once the neurohypophysis, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary, once the adenohypophysis is responded by, once the hypothalamus stimulates the anterior pituitary adenohypophysis and this anterior pituitary responds by secreting the hormone called prolactin. This prolactin is an hormone which is synthesized by anterior pituitary. This anterior pituitary in turn stimulated by hypothalamus. Okay. So the hypothalamus stimulates the anterior pituitary to release prolactin, and this prolactin plays a major role in lactogenesis. Lactogenesis, the word genesis means formation. Formation of, word genesis means formation. Lacto means milk. So formation of milk. So prolactin plays a major role in the formation of milk. How the prolactin is produced or synthesized? Hypothalamus stimulate the anterior pituitary, and this anterior pituitary responds and release an hormone called prolactin, and this prolactin plays a vital role, major role in lactogenesis. Clear? Then oxytocin. Oxytocin causes the let down reflex, that actual ejection of milk from the alveoli of the mammary gland. During lactation period, during lactation, oxytocin hormone stimulates the recently emptied uterus to contract. So once the fetus comes out from the uterus, means now the uterus is empty. So this oxytocin stimulates the empty uterus to return back to pre-pregnancy state, that is pre-pregnancy size. So once again I am repeating, during lactation period, oxytocin enzyme, a hormone, also stimulates the recently emptied uterus to contract, helping it to return to the pre-pregnancy size. Clear? The mammary glands secretes a yellowish fluid, the straw yellowish fluid. Straw yellowish fluid called, very important, colostrum, during the initial few days after delivery, after childbirth. Okay, that is after parturition. And this colostrum has less lactose. It has less lactose than normal cow's milk, and also almost no fat at all in that colostrum. But it contains enormous more amount of proteins, vitamin A and minerals. Then colostrum is also contains IgA antibody. There are 5 different types of antibody: IgA, IgG, IgE, IgM, IgD. So among this, IgA antibody is richly present in colostrum. Colostrum contains a rich amount of IgA antibody. Antibody is also called as immunoglobulin. The antibody is also called as immunoglobulin. This immunoglobulin is always fight against the antigen. Okay, so it is very important to our body. Clear? This immunoglobulin IgA antibody is present only in the colostrum. Colostrum contains a rich amount of IgA. Clear? It helps to protect the infants. Colostrum, this helps. That antibodies, particularly the colostrum contains IgA antibody. So this helps to protect the infant's digestive tract against the bacterial infection. Breast milk is the ideal food for the infants. Infants is nothing but after the childbirth, after the birth of fetus, from the first month till 6th month, it is said to be infants. Later on we call it as a baby. Okay, so breast milk is the ideal food for infants, and it contains all the essential nutrients, contains all the constituent of suitable concentrations, and it is very easily digestible for the infants. So the breast milk contains all the essential nutrients. It is very necessary for the infants to grow nicely. Okay, so it is fully sufficient till about 6 months of age. Up to 6 months of age, the infants needs the breast milk. It is fully sufficient for the baby to grow nicely. All infants must be breastfed. So all infants must be breastfed by the mother to ensure the growth of a healthy baby. So very important. So all infants must breastfeed. So all infants must be breastfed by the mother to ensure the growth of the healthy baby. Clear? Thank you, children. We will see in the next class.